Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Ring of Honor. We have Ring of Honor on Friday. Not only did we have it on Friday, but it was also airing on YouTube as well. And in situations like that, I'm looking at the comment section on YouTube, and people seem to be happy about it. They're just like, you know what, Tony Khan, you should leave Ring of Honor, kind of reminiscent to AEW Dark Elevation. And I think people would appreciate if it was more accessible without there having to be a fee to watch the show. With that being said, I'm going to critique not just the wrestling itself, the actual show, but what I think that they should have done in terms of with them being on YouTube for this episode. With them being on YouTube, I really do feel like they could have done more in terms of really trying to sell people into purchasing a Honor Club subscription. I don't feel like they did enough. I felt like in terms of an episode, this was a good episode. Better than some of the ones that we've had as of late. So if someone's expecting to see this type of energy on a weekly basis, you're definitely being fooled. And you know, I want to encourage people to watch more wrestling. However, I'm not gonna bullshit you and tell you go ahead and spend that little $9.99 on something that they're not really giving you on a weekly basis in terms of really great energy. Now, we did start off with Atlantis Jr. going against Jay Lethal. We're seeing a little bit more of Jay Lethal. This past few weeks, there's been more of Jay Lethal in Ring of Honor than I've seen the entire time that Tony Khan has had Ring of Honor, which is absolutely criminal because Jay Lethal has been there for quite some time. Atlantis Jr., let's just say he has tormented me in terms of I don't like seeing any type of splashes in the ring anymore because of Atlantis Jr. Anyway, that's neither here or there. Jay Lethal, I don't know what his goals are in terms of what he wants to do as a wrestler within AEW Ring of Honor, but a couple of weeks ago, I think last week, he came on, I think it was either Collision or Dynamite, saying how, you know, he wanted better opportunities and that he didn't want Sanjay to determine what happens between him and Satnam and Jeff Jarrett anymore, that he was going to assume that position of trying to get better opportunities for himself and everyone in that group. But then how is it that Jay Lethal is taking the L tonight against Atlantis Jr.? Jay Lethal, I feel like what he's doing right now is just getting in the ring. I'm happy to get a little bit of TV time. I'm doing a little something. But when really we can be using someone like Jay Lethal to move up the ranks and be a champion within Ring of Honor to really help bring up the brand. Like, I would literally be using Jay Lethal to help bring up a Ring of Honor. And I don't know if they have that in the plans for him, especially after taking another L. Now, we have our girl Marina Shafir in action against Layla Gray. The chemistry was off. The chemistry was off. And I've said this about Marina Shafir, that I feel like she's a great wrestler, but I don't think everybody has great chemistry with her style in the ring. I think it takes certain wrestlers, because, you know, she has martial art background as well. It's not something that meshes well with everyone. With that being said, though, I found her to be very slow in the ring, and I think that was done intentionally, but I don't think it looked well here with Layla Gray. Layla Gray is in a tournament to determine the first woman to hold the Pure Rules title. There's one for women's now. Tony Khan added more titles for no fucking reason, and she's taking another L. Who would have thought that she was going to beat Marina? My point in this situation is we haven't started the tournament yet, but you're having Layla Gray losing all her matches before she gets into the tournament. Who's going to be cheering for this girl in this tournament? Who is going to even think like she deserved to be in that tournament after all these losses, after announcing that she's in it? Like, something about it is really, really strange to me. Marina takes a win with a mother's milk. Marina, I like her, and I really want to like her more. I feel like the Death Riders, her being part of that faction, should have elevated her. And because she spent all this time holding a briefcase and not putting her arms around somebody's neck, this is the reason why people are just like not connecting with her in terms of her in the ring. We need to do so much more with Marina. I don't want to say it's too late, but y'all should have been had that ball going months ago when she started in this group. And very criminal that Layla Gray will take another L. I don't understand it. Up next, we do have the Spanish Announce Project going against Lee Johnson and Blake Christian. Really great tag team action. And I will say this, that Blake and Lee are looking like a legit tag team. I can tell that they have been practicing things. I can tell that they are really trying to be on the same page here, and I like what I saw with this team tonight, and they end up taking the win, which I felt like after being impressed with seeing the teamwork and how well they work together, this looked like a legit team. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time to see how they are, but it looked like a legit team. I would need to hear some promos and things like that from them and see how that go. Blake is not that bad. He's a really great heel to me, so I like him. Lee Johnson, I think he's improved as a singles competitor since he's turned heel, but we gotta see how he does in the team long term, and maybe a title in their future. Really great matchup. I would love to see Angelico taking a couple of more wins if that's possible. After this, we have our first ever women's Pure Rules match with Ashley Vox going against Deonna Purrazzo. And I know what y'all thinking. Tati, didn't you say a couple of months ago that Serena, Deeb, and Queen Aminata are supposed to have the first women's Pure Rules match? I did say that. They were supposed to. I guess Tony Khan had other plans. I really wish that we would have saved the first ever for a pay-per-view. Tony Khan has already pushed back 2 pay-per-views already for Ring of Honor this year. So I guess it was going to take too long before we actually got to that point. But, things change, and it wasn't Queen Aminata and Serena Deeb to give us the first one. It was Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo, she's a really great technical wrestler, and I feel like people don't necessarily put that out there when it comes to her, because unfortunately she's not in the ring as often as she should be, which is criminal. I feel like this type of tournament is just right up her alley. She was a former Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She's capable, especially with her skills, with being the first person to hold the Pure Championship for the women's. Deonna takes the win via submission. I can't wait to see what happens. And if you're watching this match, just know, like, this is just a little bit of a taste of what's to happen in that tournament. My money's on Deonna, for sure. After this, we had women's in action again. We had a Proving Grounds match for the Ring of Honor TV title. We had Red Velvet going against Lanie Luck. Lanie Luck, who has been featured on Ring of Honor quite a few times, goes for her little Proving Grounds match, hoping to get a title shot in the future against Red Velvet. Red Velvet says, "Not today, baby, not today," ends up taking the win. I really like what I'm seeing with Red Velvet. I wish she would get some TV time on at least a Collision. I'm not even saying Dynamite. At least a Collision. That would be great. Just to showcase like what she can do and how much she's changed in the ring, and also her persona as well. They can do little things like this, like little things like having Ring of Honor champions or a few of the prominent names of Ring of Honor to go on over and have a match or two on Collision a couple of times a month or whatever, just so people can be like, oh, okay, well, Red Velvet, she's on Ring of Honor. I like what I seen with her on Collision. Let me get this little $9.99 together and see what's going on Ring of Honor. Like little things like that to promote the actual brand would be nice. I would like to see a little bit more from her, but Red Velvet, she wins, and we're going to have to see what girl is going to end up challenging her for that title at some point. After this, we have a pre-recorded promo from Nick Wayne, our TV champion, who is now in Japan for the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. He was really strong in this promo about how he was going to go over there, and him being the youngest to ever compete in that tournament, and how if he wants to be the best, he has to beat everybody, and that's exactly what he's going to do. I did see some clips from the press conference that they had with all the wrestlers that are in the tournament. He looks really good. He had his suit on. He had the Ring of Honor TV title, looking like a fucking $1,000,000. And I'm like, that's what you need. You need that representation over there for AEW in that tournament. I'm not gonna lie, I do wish that there was a couple of more names within AEW Ring of Honor in that tournament. But hopefully this is a start of them being able to have more AEW Ring of Honor wrestlers for the next year. So let's see how our boy Nick Wayne ends up doing. He should probably be, well, the tournament starts on May 10th, which is today. So good luck to everyone who's in that tournament. It would be interesting to see if Nick Wayne would actually win. Now, after this, Satnam Singh in action to go against Lord Crew. Lord Crew is a big dude, big and tall, but Satnam Singh, he's like a fucking skyscraper. It wasn't like a squash. He got a chance to move around a little bit more than what we're used to seeing him in the ring, so it was okay. In situations like this, I don't know. Remember, like a week ago, EJ and Duca ended up leaving Ring of Honor. He insinuated that it had something to do with him being big and tall and not being able to find anyone to go against him. And I'm looking at Satnam Singh. I'm like, Satnam Singh is the tallest thing in this building. Okay. And I don't think he's really, really great. I don't think he's very, in terms of a wrestler, he's doing something. The basics. Probably I can do that too. But I don't know if people are going to be spending $10 for the Honor Club to see Satnam Singh. At least he's not sitting at catering doing nothing and doing something. Honestly, not interested. Main event, we have a Proving Grounds match for the Ring of Honor World title. We have Bandito going against Gringo Loco. It's been a while since he's been on. He is really, really good. So if you've never seen Gringo Loco, do yourself a favor. Pull up a highlight video on YouTube. I'm sure there is plenty. He's very talented. Best match of the night. Really great chemistry. The crowd was extremely into this match. They even had this part of the match where they kind of had like sexy dance moves and just kind of showing the crowd like who can be a better sexy dancer, whatever. I'm into it. I like it. I ain't got a problem with it. Bandito, I like him. He needs to change his finisher. The 21 plex ain't it, baby. It ain't it. We need something else. But he ends up taking the win. And I was just like, if Gringo Loco won, I would have been okay with this because it's a Proving Grounds match. And he could have had another match where they could have, gone at it again. Probably not him taking the wins for the actual championship, but I wouldn't mind seeing them again. They have really great chemistry, and Gringo Loco should be featured a little bit more on Ring of Honor. I would totally think that people would be sold in terms of possibly buying a subscription if we had a wrestler like that on the regular on Ring of Honor. Overall, the show was not bad. For them, putting this on YouTube, I feel like this was a good episode to show people who don't have the Honor Club, look at what you're missing. We ain't giving this every fucking week, but you're missing out if you don't buy the subscription. Then we could do a little bit more to actually push people to want to buy the Honor Club subscription. But overall, it was a good episode. You guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back next week for Dynamite and Collision and everything else that they got going on. See you guys then. Bye.